The Fender Purists are gonna hate this guitar. In today's episode, we're reviewing a postmodern Fender Custom Shop Stratocaster. I think it's awesome, but will the Purists like it? Probably not. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Hello guitarists, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury sound machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Keightley and today I have the pleasure of showing you a really cool postmodern Fender Custom Shop Stratocaster. Basically the idea of a postmodern Strat is blending modern playability with a vintage look. And that's exactly what this guitar is. You have the modern playabilities of a compound radius, a contoured heel, and some modern pickups, and that's combined with a vintage design. So it has the classic kind of ash body, the 3-ply pickguard, the relic look. It looks like a battered Strat. I think this is an incredible step from the Fender Custom Shop, but I know the purists will hate this guitar. So without further ado, let's grab it out the case and go over the specs of this wonderful postmodern Fender Custom Shop Strat. So guys, I've got the guitar in the case now. I've got this beautiful black Tolex G&G cases, which is the company that makes all the Fender Custom Shop cases. We also have that nice kind of black and white leather bumper. We have 2 combo locks and 1 center latch, so let's open it up and see what's inside. So guys, here's the postmodern Stratocaster. It's an absolute gorgeous guitar. I love the ash in this. The grain of the ash is just so sublime. We've got that nice kind of journeyman relic. I do think that white pickguard is looking quite bright though. They could have done with rubbing that down. But we'll go over all the specs in a little bit. But let's see what we get in the case first. So first off, I just want to talk about how nice this case is. Obviously, it's a black kind of Tolex, but we have this nice kind of blue plushy material inside with the Fender Custom Shop logo. G&G are really up in their game with the Fender Custom Shop cases. The new ones are looking amazing. So let's open up this center partition and see what we get with a Fender Custom Shop guitar. So first off, you get the floor traveler. This is the spec sheet that goes around with the guitar around the factory, hence its name. We then have a bit of a care kit with the warranty card as well as the whammy bar and ashtray cover. This is the leather bound booklet with the certificate of authenticity, and typically the floor traveler comes in this, but it's separate for some reason. But as you can see there, here's the certificate of authenticity, and it's actually signed by Ron Thorne, who's the director of the Custom Shop. Then we have a really cool Fender Custom Shop strap. These are my favorite straps that are made. They're so good and have this kind of suede material on the back so they don't slide off here. Very nice indeed. We also have some strap locks in here, must have been from the previous owner. That's pretty much everything you get with a Stratocaster from the Custom Shop. So without further ado, let's pull it out and talk about the specs. Okay, so now we're going to break down the specs of this postmodern Fender Custom Shop Strat. And as I mentioned previously, basically postmodern means that we're taking modern playabilities or building techniques and mixing them with a vintage style and looking instrument. So of course we have a beautiful ash body on this one. This is a 60s style body. The whole guitar is inspired by the 60s. So we have a 3-ply guard, white, black, white. I do have to say though, I do think this pickguard is a little bit too white. They could have done with sanding it down or maybe adding some sort of, some sort of acid to try and make it a little bit more dull. But I have to say the ash on this is very sublime indeed. It's a nice lightweight, but we get some really nice figuring, and this is the blonde finish. What I really like about this guitar is it has the journeyman relic, meaning it has a slight kind of, amber to the finish, as well as a few dents and dings here and there. A lot of finish checking, which really complements the ash finish nicely, but there's no like eccentric there's no rub down areas on the body and no buckle rash. As this is a postmodern Strat, we get the contoured heel joint. It's still 4 bolts, but you can see here there's been a sanded away area, which means it's easier to get your hand up at the top of the neck. We also have a compound radius, which is 9.5 inches to 12 inches. We have a nice thin 1969 style D, which is a very comfortable neck profile, and we have medium jumbo frets, in which there's 21 of them. The last kind of modern spec is that we have the dual mag set. These are hand-wound pickups, and to my ear anyway, they have a little bit more compression, a little bit more push into the amp, which for me is a lot better when I'm playing fingerstyle and other gainier styles. We have a 5-way switch, as you would expect, 1 volume, 2 tones, with the modern wiring, so the tone controller is connected to the bridge, so you can, curtail that if you wanted to. We then just have the standard Fender tremolo, which is set a little bit high for my liking, so you can get a little bit of a pullback on that. We then have a maple neck, as I mentioned, with that 69 style D. I'm not a big fan of the relicking on this neck. I'm not a big fan of this kind of brown gunk that's between the frets, but the black face dots look really good, and we do have that kind of wear pattern in the cowboy chords area, which I do think is pretty cool. We have a rub down neck, so this kind of nitro lacquer is all rub down, so this is like bare wood. We then have 6-in-line vintage tuners with the Fender Custom Shop logo, and one of my favourite things about this guitar is that it has the postmodern Fender decal. But that's all the specs of this amazing postmodern Stratocaster, so without further ado, let's warm up the 2-Rock and see how she sounds. So guys, welcome to the tone demonstration of this Fender Custom Shop postmodern Stratocaster. For today's episode, I'm using my usual rig for these videos, so I'm using my trusty 2-Rock Bloomfield drive, mic'd with an Audio-Technica condenser microphone going into my Mac with GarageBand. For the effects, I'm using my Kemper Profiler effects. I'm just using a compressor for this video and a tube screamer for the higher gain tones. But the first kind of segment in today's video, you heard my arrangement of Dreams by the Cranberries. Very beautiful song in E major. It's a very simple chord progression, just 1-4-5, but it's such an effective melody. So for that tone, I've got a compressor on and it's just the lead gain channel, and I rolled off the tone slightly. Also got some reverb from the Flammer FSO2. We're doing a giveaway on this reverb pedal, so make sure to look through the videos if you'd like to enter. But let's hear that Dreams track one more time. Lovely tone on that bridge pickup. As I mentioned, I have rolled off the tone slightly just to make it a little bit more chewy. I'm not always a big fan of like the Strat pickup bridge tone. It's a bit too ice picky for me, but these dual mag pickups have a real nice kind of contoured sound to them. They're not too trebly, not too bassy, right in the middle for a Strat pickup, and have a nice element of kind of compression, which definitely helps when you're playing stuff like that. So that was cool. But let's switch down to a clean channel and just hear what the raw tones of this Strat are. So this is the neck pickup. Next pickup down, we're on to the next position down, sorry, neck and the middle. Next position now, neck and middle. Pickup. now it's time for the middle and bridge tone, which is obviously kind of known as the Mark Knopfler tone. I'm going to use my fingers, but see if you can recognize this solo. It's not a dire straits solo. Comment down below if you can recognize it. And finally, we've got the bridge pickup, so I'm going to roll down the tones a little bit just because I prefer that sound on a bridge pickup, so let's hear it. So now I'm on the lead gain channel of the Two Rocks, let's hear some gain tones. Pretty crazy tone there. That was a fuzz pedal, a vibrato pedal, and a distortion pedal, so there was quite a lot of gain going on there. To play us out, I'm going to do some bridge pickup shredding, just to hear kind of the overall high gain tones of this amplifier. So I'm just going to push the lead gain a little bit on this amplifier, and let's see. So let's finish off with the greatest riff of all time, Smoke on the Water. guys, that's the end of the tone demonstration. I hope you've enjoyed hearing them tones. Let's go to the end of the video where I give my personal review and rating of this Fender Postmodern Stratocaster. So guys, we're at the end of the video. Before I tell you my personal review and rating of this Postmodern Stratocaster, make sure to go down this video and let me know what you think of this guitar. Do you love it or do you hate it? Let me know your honest comments down below. I'm really intrigued to hear about what you guys think of it, and I love replying to your comments. Also, if you've enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like rating. This really helps us increase engagement on these videos. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. It's free and it means that you're able to join a community of guitar players sharing their love for the guitar. Also, if you do hit subscribe, smash that notification bell. That notifies you when we make a new post, and we upload daily Monday to Friday. So in today's episode, I'm giving this Postmodern Stratocaster an 8 out of 10. I really liked how it played, and I loved the look as well as the playability. The compound radius and the consoled heel makes it a lot easier to play than a standard Stratocaster, and my main gripe with Stratocasters is always the playability. I find them a little bit too cumbersome. The string kind of width is a little bit too far, and I always find the scale length to be quite hard to play, but for some reason this one played really nicely. It had a nice low action. It's probably down to the compound radius as well. It had a nice kind of 69 style D shape, so it's quite thin as well. Very easy to play, and the dual mag pickups have a little bit more compression and a little bit more output than a regular Strat single coil, which I really enjoyed. Number one is the white pickguard. I feel like they could have sanded it down a little bit more or made it a little bit more aged looking. It's completely new and it really sticks out like a sore thumb on the Journeyman Relic, so I wasn't a big fan of that. And secondly, it's the wear to the fingerboard. You'll see between the frets there's almost like it looks like a cigarette burn, but obviously it's not, it's just some sort of like brown compound they've put on the fretboard. And it seems to highlight the frets. For me, I just don't feel it was very genuine, and I'm not a big fan of the way that looks just in general. I do like the kind of wear on the first 3 frets, which is kind of like the cowboy chord area. I think that's pretty cool, and I love how they sand back the necks. It just makes it a lot better to play. But I'm not a big fan of the brown gunk between the frets. So they're my main 2 criticisms and why this guitar is an 8 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10. But that is my opinion on the Postmodern Stratocaster. A great player, sounds incredible, looks the part, just not a big fan of the relic job on the neck. But that is the end of the video, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this Postmodern Stratocaster. And as always, thank you so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate every single one of you who tunes into these videos. It really makes my day. But that is the end, guys. So my name is Ben Keightley, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, that leaves me with one last thing to say. Keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.